We now move into another interesting segment of today's event, and it's a panel discussion with our young entrepreneurs. And you heard Minister said a lot about youth entrepreneurship and the focus that the government is placing, as also RHAND Credit Union and Youth Business Trinidad and Tobago. Of course, youths, that's at the core of the business at YBTT. That's our focus. Those are our main beneficiaries. So today's panel discussion themed reminiscing on the journey, challenges, solutions, tips of advice, and sharing company with us is Ken Sambury, owner of EE Empire, Karen Guru Singh, founder of Full Stop Media, and Michael Odison, director and chief product officer of Ingenuity Group. Gentlemen, a warm welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
If I could, Akila, if I could just make a point, we're missing at least one lady in the team, eh? But we'll make up for that tomorrow, don't worry. Yes, so let's get straight into it. Let's get straight into it. So we're talking about your journey and some of the challenges that you may have encountered along the way. So let me start with Ken. So Ken, tell us about Ken Sambury and EE Empire.
All right. Well, I mean, what would you like to know? The journey? How
I would like to know the journey, but tell us about the business, a bit about the business and
no problem.
What the business, you know, services and products that the business offers.
Yeah, no problem. Well, KenSambury.com is a public relations agency / visual marketing agency that actually focuses on carnival and entertainment, which we know is not really happening right now. But we have still had the privilege of working with people within the entertainment sector. So, for example, one of our latest projects has been Parang with Room. So we would produce videos, we would produce campaigns for different people. More recently as well, we started to act as a concierge, so adjusting our business model a little bit, hosting small lines and small, let's say, engagements for individuals on the beach, you know, because, you know, we would usually go to different countries and different carnivals and, you know, be on the beach there, but we can't. So we decided we're going to create a lovely experience for people in Trinidad. So that's on the Ken Sambury side of things. And then the Empire side of things, Empire is an event and project management company. And we have been active ever since, you know, doing events, doing carnival fetes and so on. We have events like Second Sunday, Tropical Luau. And although during COVID time, we can't have large gatherings, we have found many ways to innovate. So we've had an event called Barber Hall to Go, where people could interact with our lives similar to this, but they could get a package delivered to them, you know, no contact. So everything's still sticking within the COVID regulations. Actually, next week, we have a market that's going to be a showcase for small and medium enterprise. You know, so we are trying our best to innovate and to stay active within the time. So that's kind of, I guess, the list of products and services and what we have to offer now as it has changed from last year.
I'll come back to you because I'm very interested in hearing about the challenges and how you were able to overcome those challenges. But let me bring Michael in to tell us about his company, Ingenuity Group.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Morning, Mrs. Rata, and thanks everyone for having me on the panel. So I'm Michael Odison. I'm the Chief Product Officer at Ingenuity, also a director. So Ingenuity is very much focused on digital transformation. Digital is a very broad area, and you know it's now a buzzword in the market. We've been focused on this for about 3 to 4 years because we saw the opportunity and we saw what has happened in the other countries. Because, you know, with the Caribbean, we tend to be a bit far behind. So we formed this company to focus on getting the Caribbean to where it needs to be as it pertains to digital, right? So we would have heard the minister speak about e-commerce. So e-commerce is a big area for us. We've done a lot of work in e-commerce. We've consulted for some of the larger companies in Trinidad around their digital implementations. So our company is very focused on all things digital, from mobile app development all the way to our own deploy of our own digital products and projects.
Very interesting. We'll come to the challenges in a bit. Let me bring Karen in to share with us information about his organization, which it seems to me is digital as well, Full Stop Media.
Hi, how you doing? Hi.
Good to have you. Good to have you.
Thanks for the invitation. Good afternoon, I believe, to the panel.
Not yet, still morning,
not yet.
Okay,
well, I'm in
that.
Studio time, as you can see. I'm actually in my studio now. So in here, the time basically flies, and we never really know until we check our watches. But only because of this meeting, I have one on watch this morning. But just to introduce my company, it's called Full Stop Media, and we are everything advertising full stop. We do radio production. As you can see, I'm in one of our studios here now. We do television production as well as online content creation. We do everything from animation to motion graphic videos, as well as a lot of the jingles that you hear on the radio. They have been done by myself and my team. Okay. And basically, everything advertising full stop.
You have a sample for us in here to listen to?
Oh, sure. Many samples.
Let's hear a little bit, maybe a 30 second.
A 30 second? Yeah. Let me see if I can quickly find one. Is this it? Yeah. Right, so you probably would remember this one. We did this for Lucas Aid.
Yes.
One bad vibe and I'm out this. No, you can't stop this. We're out to get it with Lucas Aid. Day and night, we're on this.
Yep. So that one was kind of like a road march. So those types of things, and then we would take them and we would create motion graphic videos, and basically give you everything from an idea. Concept, we would write it, we would find the voices for it, we would do demos, send the demos to you so you approve it before we actually produce it, and basically carry you through the whole 9 yards to make sure you get the best sounding advertisement out there and looking.
So you three gentlemen, you sound like you are sounding like three happy guys. Business, everything seems to be going good. But let us talk about some of the challenges that you would have experienced along the way, because I think people want to hear about that. And young persons tuning in would want to hear, what challenges did Michael, Karen, and Ken experience? What were some of the main challenges? Let me start with Michael.
Sure, I could go first. So I experienced a lot of challenges. I actually stumbled into business. So I was employed, and I always knew that I had a very interesting mix of skill sets, and I was always talented at technology, but I wasn't quite sure of the direction to take. One of the major challenges I faced was when I just went into business, I actually had like this lump sum of money. And when I look back, I would say I made some poor decisions with the money. So I had no understanding of establishing cash flow for my business, what to do with the capital. And I think at the point in time, I didn't have a mentor, which is something I would always tell young business people to have, which is somebody that they could look to get some advice in terms of how to navigate the business world, because you could do a degree, you could do a master's. There's only so much you could be taught. Business is very much trial and error. Most business people will tell you that. So there were a lot of missteps along the way, but what you do is you learn. So I learned a lot as I went along the way, and then I was able to make better decisions going forward. Financial decisions are very important. You need to understand finances once you're in business. So even though you may be good at tech, marketing, etc., finance and sales, very important.
Great. Let me bring Ken into the conversation to share what are some of the main challenges that you would have stumbled upon, during your entrepreneurial journey.
Okay, no problem. Well, I would have experienced many different challenges. One that's outstanding to me would be getting other people to work with. I think especially for what I do, you hire a lot of seasonal employees, and then sometimes you would have let's say, committee members who may not be paid, and then you would have colleagues and business partners that you work with. So balancing all of this, you find is it's challenging because, you know, I'm here trying to create a structure where there exists no real structure prior. You know, it's not like everybody's coming to work at a particular establishment. So I think for me, that has been a great challenge in, well, of course, in the entertainment side. And especially when, of course, the world changed and COVID is here and now there's no more entertainment. The structure that we put together was abolished basically because we had a real nice structure of, you know, having meetings and having limes to get everybody together. So we are in the process of figuring out, you know, new ways to keep people engaged, you know, within our organization I'm talking about. And then on the other end, with my Ken Sambury company, I think the major challenge there has been working with artists especially, and you know, all of them would have their own creative, let's say, opinions on their creative trajectories. And sometimes it may be difficult because, you know, we might be busy, but then our artists would want stuff immediately, or the other way around. We might want to get a project going, but then that time just may not be right, and there's nothing you can do at that point. So I think those two challenges that we have faced, but we have found ways to kind of work with or work around them.
So Ken, I know we'll be coming to solutions later, but I want to stick this very important pin. So there's no carnival 2021. That is off the calendar. You are big into entertainment. What was your company's response to that?
Right. Well, the thing is, my company, we didn't really wait on the no carnival announcement to happen. You know, since June, we have been doing events and activities, and we will continue to do events and activities. My personal belief is that carnival is more so, you know, the spirit of the people. It's more so people coming together. It's more so people being creative. So yes, maybe the actual parade of the bands may be off, but I feel as though our festive spirit as a people can't really be cancelled. So it's just really for us as a people to translate that into whatever our way of celebrating will be, you know, come the festive season of January and February. So we do have a couple things planned. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was saying I didn't want to let everything out of the bag because we will be coming to our segment on solutions where we can yes. So let me bring Karen in. Karen was smiling all along while you were talking. I don't know what is in Karen's head, so let's hear.
You know, carnival, yes. Every time I hear that, that makes me smile.
I like your energy. I like your energy, Karen.
Because boy, oh
all
boy,
of you
oh
actually.
boy. We know that no carnival and I know Ken on another personal level as well. So I know that, yeah, everybody feeling it. For me, with my business, two main problems, but one word, which is confidence, was at the backbone of both of those problems. At the early stages, starting out to do advertising, you know that the advertising world is a very niche market, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. You have to know somebody to get into this thing. If you don't know somebody, then you're on your outskirts. No matter how good you are, no matter how intelligent you are, how fast you are, none of those things matters if you don't know the right people. And then why I say confidence is because it takes a lot of confidence for them to build trust in a young person. So I started this when I was in my teens, working for all the advertising agencies. And I thought to myself, yeah, I'll just work for all the agencies, show them what I could do. And then after that, I'll go on my own and yeah, I'll get some clients. No. Didn't work. Clients basically look at you straight in your face and they tell you, hey, we know you're talented, we know you're good, but when I pick up the phone and I call somebody else, or a bigger company, I get 60 people in one phone call. Whereas when I call you, I only get one person. So it was building that trust in them to show them that with technology and with all of these things, now we can jump a lot of hurdles and a smaller company can do a big job just as good as a bigger company can do it. Or it's at least worth the try. So after we got over those hurdles, then we again had the confidence issues with with the financial institutions, because again, when you're a young person in business and you have all of these bright ideas and you're going around the place, not much people want to take a risk on you. So you had to build that confidence there. And then coming fresh out of school, as I didn't go to UE and I didn't go to any of the tertiary organization, as a matter of fact, I just started straight out of CXC and A levels. And doing that, you basically have to learn as you go with the other side of the business, because everybody sees the nice side, which is the, okay, I'm working for myself, I'm self-employed, I can wake up 10 o'clock during the day and put on a shirt that I ain't iron yet and come on a Zoom. But the reality of it is the back end of the business is twice as hard as the front of what you see in the front, as in learning the financial side, learning how to build leads and learning how to do all of these things that keeps your business out of the water and stuff. So learning all of those things was, again, why I say confidence, building the confidence in yourself to know that, okay, it's me alone. There's nobody going to give me a paycheck at the end of the month. If I don't get up and get, I have to go. So yeah, just basically getting those things out of the way and ironing those out were two major problems.
Guys, I want us to look at the main challenges that impact young entrepreneurs. If you could identify 3 for me. I know financing is one because you talked about it, but, and I'm talking in this current dispensation, what would be the 3 main challenges that entrepreneurs are facing right now as we speak? Let me start with Ken.
Well, on my side, I would like to say, right now is a cool thing to be an entrepreneur. You know, everybody wants to be a boss, but nobody wants to be the employee. So as an entrepreneur, I feel like I'm always trying to hire people and work with people and so on. But you find that because, you know, entrepreneurship is this cool thing, sometimes I think that it is difficult, and that is a major challenge, you know, getting good human resources that you could rely on and, you know, that could stick with what you have to do. Like, that is a major, and I think it's not even talked about enough, so I'm real happy to, like, see this as my point.
Michael? Michael, give me a little sticker there. I don't know what that is, but go ahead.
Yeah, I snicker because I snickered because right now, well, even before COVID, there was so many challenges already facing young entrepreneurs, and now there are even more. So I know we would have mentioned cash flow before. I think as a young entrepreneur, right? So you have to understand that business is tested, right? So the way business is done hasn't changed for many 100 years. And having structure to your business is very important. So even as a very small business person, even if you're just an individual, you have to be thinking down the road, think 5 years down the road, think structure. So think, how am I going to structure my business so it's going to succeed? Whether it's an agency, whether it's a hardware, whatever type of business you go into. I know entrepreneurship is sexy right now, technology is sexy right now, but we see even with the largest technology companies, even though they started as scrappy startups, they eventually had to put structure in place, right? You have to get your hiring right, you have to get your accounting right, you have to understand taxes. So all of the boring stuff that has nothing to do with, you know, pointing a camera as a photographer or building a website or whatever that you enjoy doing. Wrap your mind around the fact that you're going to have to understand all of those things as an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm. Let me bring Ken in to talk about, let's say, the 3 main challenges that you see from where you said that young entrepreneurs are facing right now.
Me, right?
Yeah,
okay.
This Ken.
Ken,
right.
Ken, yes, Ken.
No problem. All right, so I would say the 3 main challenges, from my perspective, would be HR. It would also be, as was said, structure, and like the know-how, if you may. Now, my comment on HR is also little related to structure, because sometimes I always think that you could find somebody who enjoys the things you don't enjoy. So if you work with the correct people, it could kind of help with some of the stuff Michael was saying. And then I would say the third thing, especially as a young entrepreneur, is just as Karen was saying, getting people to understand that, take it seriously, getting people to take it seriously. I think like a large amount of my efforts are like letting people know, look, this is the future, whatever I'm doing here, take this seriously because it's going to be a big deal. And, of course, although we might be thinking ahead, not everybody else is. So, that is my third challenge, getting people to like see that this is where the globe is heading and, come on board with us so that we can assist, in getting your business or getting your experience to where you want it to be.
A lot of young entrepreneurs across the broad spectrum in the ecosystem often talk about lack of support systems to treat with the issues that you all are talking about and beyond. How would you all respond to that? Is that a fact, or is it that entrepreneurs are not doing enough work, enough research to find what they're looking for?
I don't know. I have a very unorthodox approach to this. Go ahead. I don't know if you're gonna go ahead.
Go, no.
Yeah, I have a very
unorthodox approach. Karen, you could go. Karen, go ahead.
I'll go after Ken.
All right, no problem. So yeah, okay. I have a very unorthodox approach to this, and from the perspective of I feel as though the power is really within our hands. Now, of course, in any industry, support from the government or the powers that be will be beneficial. Like that goes without saying. As a matter of fact, especially operating in entertainment, I feel like we get like the opposite of support. It's more like regulatory, like where you going there? Nah, don't go there, kind of vibe, as opposed to like I don't even need like personally sometimes I don't even feel like it's support. I just need to be allowed. But I also feel that we as entrepreneurs, we could come together and we could create forums such as this in which we could push our business forward. Now, I think I would also say that a lot of times we would venture, let's say as a sole trader, without reaching out. Like, for example, during COVID time, Karen and I in our WhatsApp group, and we talk in the WhatsApp group probably every day. I can't tell you the last time I see Karen in real life, but I feel like Karen right there. I feel like I talked to the man up to yesterday. So yeah. We have to look for these communities. We have to join them and be active. And these things would be what would allow us to get the opportunities we want now. It's not just going to come to us, especially during COVID time. You had to look for it. So that's my thought as well. So it's like a twofold approach. Yeah, you had to get the support and that would be great, but then you had to support yourself.
Do the work. Karen, you wanted to make a point before, yes, about that. In terms of, we were talking about the support systems. Do you think we have enough adequate support systems to treat with the issues that you are alluding to and beyond? Or is it that entrepreneurs need to do more work in terms of sourcing what they need?
A bit of both. A bit of both, I would say. To start off with ponging myself first, I remember starting off and I didn't do much research. I just being a creative guy. I was like, look, build it, or in my case, sing it and they will come, or sing it and they will buy it. That was my approach. I didn't want to burden my mind with the financial side of it or on the hiring side of it or anything like that, because to me, all that was keeping back my creativity and heavy in the vibe of being in the business. And then a few phone calls from BIR later, and you realize, the well that you can be throwing yourself into if you don't take the time to at least just a Google search and all it, just a little Google search. You can Google search something and that will spark the want or the need in you to find out more. And then you go to a friend in business and you can find out from them, somebody that you trust in business, and you can say, hey, for me, that was my dad. I went to my father and I was like, Daddy, you know about taxes and all of these things? And he was like, yes, son, you're supposed to be paying these things, and brought everything up to speed and all of those things. So I would say, on one side, we could do some more research as entrepreneurs, and instead of just running off into the realm of business, do some research before you step on the horse and go. And then on the other side, more communication could be done to let us know what is available to us. So, the government has a way that they would come on and they would hit us an acronym. Yes, do you have a new business? Well, look at this, help. The higher entertainment loan program or some kind of thing they would come with and leave you in the wilderness. Like, that's for me. Like, I remember asking the other day, somebody came to me and was like, look, it have loans for small business and you could just go in the bank and get a loan. And I was like, yes, but you had to be making over $1 million a month. And then to have other people who say, is that really a small business? So all of these different things and ways in which they communicate to us and let us know what is there. And then don't lie is another thing too, because a lot of the institutions, they come at you and they say, oh, glorious this, and they come to places like me and they get a really nice jingle that says, yes, yes, come in and borrow and come in and get this. And when you go there, they're asking you for everything, enable string information you could never give them, you know, and it makes you wonder. Some of them want the same money that you want borrowed. They want you to have that first. It's like, if I had to have that first, then I wouldn't come by you, you know. So I think it's a hand in hand that needs to be shake a little better. The two operating systems, the OS of the entrepreneur and the OS of the who is facilitating the entrepreneurs need to work hand in hand a little bit better. And then, yeah, we can get more opportunities.
I like how you're pouring it out. I love it. I love it. Michael.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with Karen and Ken. So it's dual factored, right? So it's not just one or the other. For me, as an entrepreneur, by your very nature, you're supposed to be hungry and curious. So we create something out of nothing. We don't wait for the information to fall on our laps. We go out and we look for it. We're supposed to be resourceful and figure things out. That's a big part of being an entrepreneur, right? So even where there is not the structure, I mean, even if we look at the FET industry in Trinidad, nobody put the structure in place for promoters. They just figured it out and they came together and they created a whole FET industry that has spread all the way to New York and London, etc. So too with tech, if you look at tech in Silicon Valley, right? Nobody really created that structure for them. They figured it out and then the structure came after. However, I think where I would challenge the government is, you know, we all know that oil and gas is kind of going downhill. We speak a lot about diversification. So I think that more has to be done by the powers that be to diversify the economy more towards tourism, more towards entertainment, and more towards technology. If we put the requisite structure and, you know, we put the things in place that could really help those areas to really grow and flourish, I think eventually we'd see the economy going in a completely different direction. If you look at the US, financial services used to be the big thing in the US. Wall Street was the driver of their economy. Now it's Silicon Valley, right? So they diversified away from financial services being their core revenue driver. But it could only be done if the government works hand in hand with the industries. So that is how I feel about it.
Now, the three of you, the businesses that you all operate, there are some commonalities. And I'm saying that to preface my next question, which has to do with networking and team, working as a team, working together. Have you all found value in networking in terms of commonalities and similarities and so to arrive at a common goal? Maybe start
sure.
Yes, go ahead, Karen.
Oh, for sure. Networking is it. Networking is everything. Networking is the way that you get yourself out there without having to go and pay for an ad for your own company. It's just, I would say the biggest thing about networking for a young Trinidadian that like to party and like to lime too, is to realize when the moment is there. You know, I'm a believing man. You know, everybody else have the different things that they believe in. But to me, I believe that whenever I'm in a position or in a place, I'm there for a purpose. And I tuned my brain as an entrepreneur to always look for the opportunity. So I could be in a line. Well, not right now because of COVID, but you know what I mean? I could be somewhere and it's a social gathering and I would see Michael there and I'd be like, you know what? I have a good idea that I had for ingenuity, but instead of just sitting down here and talking about the cricket or talking about the football, let me wait for the right moment to drop my idea on Michael and just knowing, you know, how to network and when is the right time and stuff to do it. So a long way to say that, yes, networking for me is by all and end all very, very, very essential. It's just knowing how to do it, when to do it, and being very efficient at it. Yes, and who to do it with, yeah.
Ken.
Yeah, I agree. I think you know, we see so many examples of good networking. I think using the example that Michael brought up earlier with events and carnival fets, you know, a carnival promoter would print his or her tickets, and then these tickets would get out to thousands of people, and the information of the event would get out primarily through networking, because, you know, even though your ticket is online or wherever, people still have to find out how the event is or if that event is for them. Because on one weekend, on the carnival weekend, there's about 60 different events, you know. So as an individual, you have to choose. Similarly, more recently, we have seen a lot of people, you know, having a lot of financial groups where you put money and you get money back and stuff like that. And the premise of that is people coming together. And I think that we could take that premise of coming together, but come together for actual existing business, you know? So it's like you just take the same model that everybody doing, and we join in this and we join in that, and it's for financial security or whatnot. And we could just apply that to whatever business you actually have, that you have a product to sell or service to sell. And I think that, you know, adding to that, they are like informal forums, even during COVID, just as Karen was saying, you know, that you could join or you could be a part of and then be active in. Even if, you know, you might not want to talk in a group, you could always message somebody, you know, and just put yourself out there or speak to somebody who, again, might be a bit more extroverted than you. So they might put you onto somebody else that, you know, can assist. And then I would close with saying, for me, I always tell myself, look, if I have to do 4 things, 2 are probably good at and 2 are probably like, 2 I'm not. However, Michael over there, he might be good at those 2 that I am not good at. And then he might like the 2 I don't like. So it's actually a disservice to me and to Michael for me to rally through by myself. Because while doing that, I could just talk to him. He could do the things he like, I could do the things I like, and we could find a way to connect. And I always say in business, I love the mathematics in business. You know how like usually 1 + 1 is 2 and 2 + 2 is what? Not so in business. In business, 1 + 1 is 3. You understand? 2 + 2 could be 7. And that's how it works when people come together in a good way, you know? And so once you understand that, regardless of if you're introverted, extroverted, you like to be inside, you like to be outside, you will understand the value of networking, and you will know what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody to balance yourself out, you know? So, yeah.
Michael?
Yeah, networking is one of the more important aspects, especially if you are now coming into business, you need to expand your network. The funny thing is that I didn't even know who the other panels would be. And ironically, I've done work with Karen, I've done work with Ken, right? One of the trappings for small business people is that we tend to think that we could do everything ourselves, right? But that is not what you're there for. As a business person, you're not supposed to sit down, write the script, record it yourself when, you know, as Ken say, you have no experience recording scripts, but you think you could do it for yourself because you want to keep all the profits to yourself, and then your product is actually substandard. So don't be afraid to tap your networks. One of the first things I do when I have a project is pull out my phone to see who I know, who I could bring in on the project. You know, and of course you still have to make your margins, but you still have to work with others. And you could only do that through networking, or else you'll have to put an ad out every single time you want to do something, right? So as you know, as they would have said, always seek to expand your network. We in COVID right now, so we may not be able to physically go to events, but there are WhatsApp groups, there are online forums. Ask somebody a question, you know, a friend of a friend, you know, but you have to be very deliberate about it. But you need to expand your network. Once you expand your network, you realize just how much talent Trinidad has and how many services are available.
Great.
Exactly.
I want you all to amalgamate all what you have said in terms of the challenges and so and the hurdles, and if each of you could come up with a solution that we can put into the ecosystem out there for young entrepreneurs. Let me start with Ken.
All right, no problem. Well, I mean, my number one thing is innovation. So I would definitely say to all young entrepreneurs or even old entrepreneurs, anybody, you know, innovate. And then the thing is, I also would add that everyone has their skill set, everyone has their passion. So it's where I would advise that you start with understanding your passion and understanding what you are good at, so that when you enter into a conversation, it come like that's what you're entering with. You're not really entering with any money or anything like that, but you're entering with, look, this is what I'm good at. What are you good at? And let's see how we connect. And I'll actually give an example. So I'm having a market next week. So basically it's like a pop-up shop, but I want to do it more like a fancy evening, because, you know, I'm accustomed to fancy events, carnival, fete and thing, but I never had a market in my entire life. So no matter how many fetes I threw and how many parties I had, I decided, look, I'm not going to run in by myself. I linked with another organization who's accustomed having pop-ups. And boy, they showed me so many things that I didn't see. And I would have run up hot and sweaty and have my entire market. And then I would have realized, you know, I could have just do this differently and I could have do that differently. And it could have been better for everyone, you know? So I think that's a real life example to show people, like, look, and the thing is, the owner of the group, I didn't know her, you know, I didn't know her. I just was like, yeah, I remember they had a market last year, some time ago, and they had asked me for information and I gave the information freely. So I was like, hey, you know what? Let me reach out to them and let me see if they will come on board with me. And lo and behold, they did. And I didn't even know, like I said, the owner of the group before. So
yeah. One networking. Michael, one solution we can put in the ecosystem.
Yeah, so if it's one solution, I would say that, so right now, a lot of people are interested in technology events, etc. A lot of young people, they see it happening and they want to be a part of it. Understand your business model. It's very important to understand your business model. For every business, there's a model behind it, and your business model really speaks to how your business is going to make money, right? So understand the fundamentals of your business, the ins and outs, learn everything about the business before you jump right into it. Sometimes you're passionate and you just rush right into it, and you know, you don't even understand how your business is going to make money. It's just something that you love to do. But once you know it could make money, right, and you understand the model, then you have a business and things would start falling into place after that. So, and if you don't, I mean, as Karen would have rightly said earlier, there are Google searches, right? So you could search your industry to find out the fundamentals, reach out to your peers, broaden your network, ask them, how does their business work, you know? Don't be afraid. I find entrepreneurs to be very open when you ask them. You know, sometimes you may think, well, they're not going to talk to me, and then they're happy to share the information. So what you have to do is stand on the shoulders of others, right? You don't have to make the same mistakes that everybody made. So even if, as Ken would have said, you're introverted, you have to learn to speak, to engage others, to talk, to find out from others, you know. Don't be afraid to ask a question.
Great. So guys, we have come to the end, but 30 seconds to wrap. Let me start with Karen. 30 seconds. Karen, what would you like to leave with our audience, particularly the young entrepreneurs, particularly young persons who are listening and have an interest in becoming part of the national ecosystem? What would you want to leave with them?
Three quick steps. One, know your business. And by saying know your business, going back to the point that we made initially, where do your research, do your Google searches, get that friend that was in it before you, get that elder person, get on to them, find out as much as you could know about your business. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of us think that we have a business when we really don't. Right? Some of us, you want to make sure that this thing that you're going to invest the next 3 years, the next 5 years, or however long you want to invest into your business, make sure that it's something that's actually viable. So research it, find out how much people doing it, find out how hard it is to do, find out if you have a USP, which is a unique selling point. Find out if you have these things to offer first before you make a move. Then after, be honest and be true to yourself and your business. If, as Michael said and Ken said, if you know, like in me, I ain't no keyboardist. Look, I don't even have a keyboard in my studio. I don't even have a keyboard in my studio. Why? Because I know about 12 different keyboardists that are all better than me, and I will go to them. I will go to them and get their expertise. I'm a conceptualizer and a composer. So I will come up with a melody and go to them and make sure that has happened. And then again, the last thing I want to say is be fearless. Be fearless in everything that you do. Be tried and true, but also be fearless too. Make sure that fear is not something that holds you back from talking to somebody that you need to talk to, from asking the question that you need to ask, from just going into the bank and just being fearless, going into the credit union. I remember the phone call that I got to be a part of this panel. I was fearless again, and I asked Rand, I was like, yo, who does your ads? You know, like, be fearless. Always do what you have to do to make sure that you get the best out of each and every situation. Yeah.
Well, love the energy, bad
as well.
Ken, 30 seconds, sir. This energy, we could go for another hour, but we have to close.
No problem, no problem. Well, I would like to leave 2 words with everyone. One is innovate, and the next one is participate. So I would say innovate. Now this, when I say innovate, it doesn't mean you have to necessarily create something new, you know. You could do something existing just in a new way, or you could do it to a new audience. So basically, you could do this. So let's say Karen has an existing business model that works really well, but Karen could only handle X amount of clients. I could now go to Karen and say, look, you know, I want to do something similar. Give me advice. And I could go down to Tobago and decide I want to offer something similar, and then I could still stay connected. So I would say innovation doesn't necessarily mean that you have to compete with the other people who are in your circle. There are many ways, especially during now, that you could work with them and carve out your own niche within whatever the industry is.
Well said, well said.
And my other point, thank you. My other point is participate. So, you know, now we are consistently bombarded with like Zoom meetings and everybody wants an interview and people want to, you know, talk to us about different things. And so I would encourage the public to look at these forums and just take some time out of your day to participate in what is there. Because unlike, you see, pre-COVID times, you find that information will come to you because, you know, you might be out, you will see somebody, but now you're more or less home. You know, if you're going out, you're going to the grocery store, probably not nowhere that is very social, that has a lot of people as before. So as a result, you know, we all have to take a little bit more active role to actually participate in initiatives and participate in ventures. And that could also be done through other people. So if it is, you know, you have a friend who really like to participate in stuff, they might be getting all the emails. You might be on the mailing list or whatnot, but you could just tell them, hey, let you know when something's coming up. And that way you could be in the circle. So innovate, participate.
Awesome. Michael?
Yes, so I would say that if you are interested in starting a business, there's no time like the present. When I was now thinking of going into businesses, 2 people told me that I should do it, and 5 people told me I shouldn't, because the economy now started to do bad, and they say, boy, stick with your job and whatnot. But there's no time like the present, because you have no safety net really. If you are passionate about something and you think now is the time to do it, then figure out a way and do it. Go all in, forget about the plan B. You can't moonlight and have your day job and still have a successful business. It's very difficult to do that, and you'll just burn yourself out, and you'll just be half-stepping both for your job and your business. So if you really want to do it, take the leap. It may seem daunting and scary at first, but definitely do it, and you'll figure it out. You'll form a parachute on the way down, right? Do your research, do your homework, but you know, don't wait and don't let people discourage you from doing what you want to do, especially if you're really passionate about it. Yeah, this is what I would say.
Thank you, Michael. Ken, Karen, you have been a scintillating bunch, I would call it. we could have gone, or we could go on for another hour because the energy is nice. But we have to end. We end today, but we have not ended our conversation. So I want to thank you all again. And as we close, let me bring in Akila Hines, Marketing Officer at RHAND, to wrap up today's session.
Thank you, Sandrine, and thank you again, Ken, Karen, and Michael, for this very interesting discussion. We have a lot of people asking questions, asking to get in contact with you. Again, everyone, the session is being recorded and will be available on YBTT's and RHAND's Facebook page. Also, you can contact us at marketing@rhand.org.tt. That's marketing@RHAND.org.tt. With any of your questions, if you want to get in contact with YBTT, any of the panelists, anyone at all, just send your questions and I'll be happy to oblige. Now, tomorrow we're having another session. It will be again from 10:30 to 12. We're dealing more with the aspects of the importance of registering your business, having all these things that these lovely gentlemen would have talked about, you know, financing, that all networking, all those sorts of things. We also have a representative from the World Credit Union Council just talking about the importance of credit unions and how they can assist, not just here locally, but internationally. And we have another panelist again with other entrepreneurs who is going to be talking about the effects of the pandemic and what they would have done to mitigate. And again, tips for everyone. So if anyone have any question, they could always send it to us. And if we can answer them tomorrow, that will be great. Thank you again. Sandrine?
Thanks, Akila. So let me extend sincere thanks and appreciation to the Minister of Trade and Industry, Senator the Honorable Paula Gopi-Spoon, for sharing time and space with us this morning, talking about the importance of the credit union movement to economic growth and development. We also want to thank Mr. Ainsley Andrews, General Manager of RHAND Credit Union, for sharing useful insights on the credit union processes, what's involved. And please, as Akila said, connect with RHAND, marketing@rhand.org.tt. I would also like to thank my General Manager, Shedron Collins, for sharing useful insights on not only Global Entrepreneurship Week, but on the importance of developing partnerships, which is at the core of the work we do here at YBTT. And of course, our awesome panelists, Ken Sambury, Karen Guru-Singh, and Michael Odison. Thank you so much. Akila, you know, we could go another hour, but we leave it there. We save that for tomorrow. So thank you so much. And to be in audience, we thank members of the media and all who supported this initiative this morning. Thank you so much, and do enjoy the rest of your day.